If you make sales outside of your point of sale, such as wholesale, catering events, bulk orders, or otherwise, Thrive has flexible invoicing features to fit your business needs. Thrive's invoicing tool can create customer-specific orders, collect payments, and track fulfillment status. To get started, click the Invoices tab on the left-hand navigation. Thrive offers payment processing via Stripe to collect customer payments. Otherwise, you can log offline payments. To use Stripe, follow the prompts on screen to set up a new account. This Stripe account will be specific to Thrive. We'll first need to create your customer. Click Create Customer from the Customers tab to add the customer profile. Customers require only a name and an email address. Fill in the rest as needed. When finished, click Save Customer at the top right. Then, return to Invoices and click Create Invoice. The invoice number will automatically be generated, but it can also be manually entered. Each invoice will automatically increment by 1 from a chosen number. The due date is when you expect the customer to pay the invoice. When the invoice is fulfilled, inventory will be deducted from the chosen shipping location. The customer is the one receiving and paying the invoice. For invoice type, choose between regular and wholesale. In this video, we'll cover regular invoices, but if you sell wholesale, we've got another video on that specifically. With wholesale, available on our professional plan and above, you can easily create price lists and invoices for direct orders with Thrive. There are a few different ways to add products to an invoice. If you're on the professional plan, you can add products via an external barcode scanner. Each scan adds +1 to the product. Start a chat with us to learn more about upgrading your plan. The Add Products button is another option for quickly getting products onto the invoice. Use filters or the search bar, and remember that products will only populate here if enabled at the location selected for the invoice. To add a large number of products from a particular category or vendor, be sure to press the Load All button as shown here. Next, fill out the relevant cells. A compare at price can be added to show a markdown. Thrive applies your default tax rates to each item on the invoice. If this setting isn't changed, we'll use the tax rates already set up for each product in the inventory section. Choose a different tax rate or no tax rate for your invoice, or change taxes for individual products on the invoice. The retail price per unit can also be adjusted, and then the quantity can be added. Any quantity of items, regardless of what is currently in stock, may be added to the invoice. You also have the option to add product expiration dates, PO numbers, lot numbers, and notes. Discounts can also be applied to the entire invoice or to individual products. They can be a dollar amount or a percentage. The shipping price is passed on to the customer and included in the total due amount. It is not taxed. The number of days in which payment is expected can be written in net terms, as can any other terms needed. At the bottom, there is a notes field to add any additional information. When the invoice is finalized, go up to the top right and click Create. This will save the invoice as a draft. When ready, hit Send Invoice. The invoice will be sent to the default email of the customer. Additional recipients can also be added, notes for the customer can be included, and a copy can be sent to yourself. Here's an example of what the invoice will look like to a customer. All the recipient has to do is click the link to enter a credit card and pay the balance. To add your logo to the invoice, just go to the Company Info tab in Thrive Settings. Here a logo can be added which will appear on the invoice. From Invoice Settings, custom text which will appear at the bottom of your invoices can be added. This is a great place to specify return policy, privacy details, company info, or just say thanks. After sending the invoice, it will show as open and unfulfilled. Use this field to store a tracking number or link for any shipments made, so it can be referred back to later. Payments through Stripe will be received and the invoice will be automatically closed. If collecting any other payment types, an offline payment can be logged and it will be deducted from the balance due. Partial payments, like cash or check, can be made offline, but card payments via Stripe will always be for the remaining balance. Invoices can be fulfilled before or after the payment is made. In the top right corner, it will read, "Invoice is currently unfulfilled." To fulfill, simply click here and change to fulfilled. This action fulfills the whole order, thereby adjusting inventory counts and cannot be undone. You can sync the invoice to QuickBooks Online through the gear wheel at the top right. If a refund needs to be made for an invoice, click the gear wheel in the top right corner and select Issue Refund. A line item refund will allow for individual items to be refunded. The quantity to be refunded can be chosen, or hit Refund All. If the payment was made through Stripe, the online payment box can be checked, and if the payment was offline, the offline box can be checked. Add any notes, and the restock at location will be checked by default. If the items will not be restocked for damage or other reasons, this box can be unchecked. Then hit Issue Refund. For a custom amount refund, the amount of logged payment to be refunded can be entered, as well as any notes can be added. Please note that if any items are to be restocked, this must be done manually from the inventory page afterward. For more information, tutorials, and step-by-step guides, visit the help documents linked below. If you need additional assistance, contact our customer care team using the chat bubble in the bottom right corner of our website.